We begin the practice with legs up the wall, or waterfall pose. You can enjoy this pose with legs resting on the wall, with the hips resting on the ground, or with hips elevated. There are so many benefits of Viparita Karani. It's a very versatile pose. It's very refreshing and energizing when you feel tired and you need a second wind. But when you feel agitated and restless, it has a tranquilizing effect, so you can rest more easily and deeply. Yoga tools that could be helpful in Viparita Karani include something soft for the back of the neck and the head, like a folded towel, and a bolster or a folded blanket to rest the pelvis and the low back. And a tie or yoga belt can also be helpful. Let's begin. Come onto the floor with your buttocks close to the wall, and use your upper body strength to come down onto your elbow and forearm and brace yourself with the opposite hand. Then lower down onto the shoulder, roll onto your back, and swing the hips and shoulders up so the legs follow and rest on the wall. You may want to try elevating the pelvis by sliding a bolster or blanket under the back of the hips, supporting the natural curve of the low back. This action of taking the hips higher than the waist can create an ease of flow of lymph from the lower body to the upper body. See how you feel and make any adjustments you need. Rest here for a few breaths and just watch how your body is responding to being upside down. Rest your arms out in a T or up and over behind the head, palms facing the sky, or invite your hands to rest on your belly. Give yourself a few moments to experience the changes in the breath, to get comfortable, and prepare to experience the waterfall effects of this wonderful pose. We circle the feet, the ankles, spreading the toes and releasing the soles of the feet. We slow down the breath and we slow down the movement of the feet. We go around a few times one way and a few times the opposite way. We shake the feet and legs, and we sense a subtle wave of energy moving down the legs toward the low belly. There is a release of old fluids that have been trapped here for some time. We slow the breath down a bit, and we just complete the out-breath. Maybe you're feeling or hearing a snap, crackle, pop sensation, and just think of this as a symphony of freedom for your feet after being held captive in shoes all day. We point the toes, and then point the heels, then the toes, then the heels. Slow things down and use the breath to guide the movements. We're noticing all the layers of tension that live on the back plane of the body. This movement of the feet is also releasing tension carried in the connective tissue of the back and the neck. The joints in between all of the bones of the feet and the ankles are releasing synovial fluid, improving mobility, allowing the bones to release their grip on each other. We take the soles of the feet together and let the knees come out to the sides. We rock the pelvis from left to right and let go of the gripping of the upper legs in the hip sockets. We can also butterfly the legs. We rock, butterfly the legs to help move the fluid from the lymph nodes and the blood vessels around the knees and the inner legs and the inguinal area of the lower belly. This is helping to move old fluid out of the legs and belly toward the upper part of the chest. We're slowing down the breath, and we're letting the out-breath be complete. And perhaps there's a brief pause at the end of the out-breath. We exhale from the lower belly, the middle of the abdomen, and then from the upper part of the body. We let the legs come long again, and we shake them, encouraging more energy to come down, engaging the idea of apana, this downward flowing energetic wind written about thousands of years ago. Gravity is an experience of the power of apana. We take a belt and tie and arrange it around the upper part of the legs, just above the knee. Secure it so that the legs are aligned as best we can, the feet, and the knees, and the hip points. And we create an inward rotation of each upper leg bone. And we drop the sit bones down toward the floor to allow the heads of the femurs to rest down deeper in the hip sockets. Then we let the sit bones feel heavy, and we're totally releasing any gripping or holding of the legs. The belt is holding everything in place safely. Take a few long, slow, smooth, and complete in and out breaths, and keep letting go of the legs. Less and less is done until nothing is left to do. Gravity is doing all of the work, and this frees up a lot of energy. We're also calming the diaphragm, the sheet of muscle that lies between the belly organs and the heart and lungs. It moves up and down, bringing air in and out of our bodies about 20,000 times a day. Now being upside down, and with the pressure of the belly organs bearing down in the opposite way, we can observe the way our belly and our breath are working. We can see things from a different vantage point. We are completely shifting our relationship with gravity, and all the organs of the body are being refreshed. This is a calming and vivifying effect on the body and the mind. Allow the exhalation to empty the lower belly first. Then the midsection. Then the upper chest, and feel how wonderful the in-breath is that comes next. Take 3 rounds of breath this way, releasing the jaws and releasing the eyebrows. Then we come back to natural breath. We let the feet come away from the center line, 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock, or 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. And we allow things to rest in a comfortable way so that the legs can let go of any gripping. Going upside down once a day is very therapeutic. It's great for mental performance, and it's also very anti-aging. Most importantly, it helps cultivate more vitality. We're turning our perspective on things upside down as well. So when we come back to upside right, we have a new way of seeing things. As we sit in our chairs, there is a blockage of the flow of blood and lymph up and down the legs. And this energy of the lower extremities becomes stagnant, and there can be a sense of dullness. And when we turn upside down, we experience a rush of fresh circulation and a sense of renewal and lightness. We take long, slow, smooth, and complete breaths. We may feel the feet shifting as the muscles and the connective tissue of the inner legs release. The inner legs have a rich network of lymphatic vessels and nodes, rich network of blood vessels and nerves. And this aspect of the waterfall pose helps us to improve circulation of old toxic lymph out and helps the legs feel lighter and more limber. The waterfall pose refreshes the legs and activates the parasympathetic nervous system, as well as the first and second chakras, energetic centers that are associated with survival, stability, passion, creativity, and living in flow. Lymph and blood are the waters of life and health. Take our hands to the outside of our legs, and then we draw them toward the center, shaking the legs out. Then we take the soles of the feet together again, and we let the knees move away from the center. Rock the pelvis or butterfly the legs again, or we can just rest. Now we take the hands to the knees and we draw them toward center. We lift the hips to remove the bolster from underneath the pelvis, and then we come down and roll over to the right and rest here for several breaths. You could also roll over to the left if there's any reason you don't want to roll over to the right. You can use a support for your neck or your head, or you could bring the upper part of your arm up to support you as well. We rest here so that we can experience a stabilizing of all of our body fluids. And it's so helpful to use this awareness and intelligence to help us come out of the pose, using our upper body strength. Whenever you're ready, taking the top arm hand, pressing down, and then energizing the opposite arm to help you, coming up with the strength of your arms and shoulders. Take a few breaths here and gently reacclimatize to being right side up. And just notice what's changed, how your breath feels, how your mind feels right now. Wonderful.